Welcome, Hubert, to Metalladium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about Deivos, this new album, Apophenia, and more things related to the metal world in general. So we are starting by asking, how are you doing today? How is the band during the last couple of years? And obviously, so how are you in general?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just finished my works for today, so quite good. Uh, yeah, everything's fine.
Hmm. Okay. So talking about this new album, when do you start writing songs for this new album? Are the songs new, or do you rescue any composition that left without for the previous ones?
No, it was completely new idea, especially for this record. We don't have any leftovers from previous records. So, and I think that we started to think about the recording uh, last year at the, I don't know, maybe January, I think. So, yeah, because like it gets 1 year for us, I think, like more or less to complete the ideas, to play them at the rehearsals, and yeah, and to figure out everything and record the record.
Hmm. Okay. I saw the sorry, I saw that Dave was always working a new album since you started your career in 1997. Then your first album came to 2006. Since there's the band start creating albums each 3 years, each 1 year, 4 years, 3 years, 3 years. That's amazing. That's a great accomplishment for the band because you are still composing music every 2 years, 3 years. So, are you always working on a new music, or do you prefer to focus it once you have finished touring and promote the last album? So when it's time for you, or what made now the right moment to release a new album?
Okay, well, we have this, like you've mentioned, the schedule that we will record a new album not sooner than 2 years after the latest one, because we need to take a breath from the previous recording to clear our heads. So after one album, we need like 1 year when we don't think about a new record. We're gathering our thoughts, our inspirations, listen lots of stuffs, and and yeah, and then we said, okay, it's the time, but it's not always. Some of reviewers are pointing out that our latest album was released 5 years ago, so this schedule is broken. But we did re-release our first album in the meantime, so it was for after I think it was in a period of 2 years after the Casus Belli.
Hmm.
So we upped the schedule, but in the meantime there was a pandemic, so things was like not like usually.
Hmm. Okay. And talking about this topic of the pandemic, how do you feel about this new release compared to your previous one, which came out during the beginning of the pandemic at that time?
Like I don't think that pandemic in general make the difference how the album sounds. Maybe change the way the people work on new albums and work in general. Uh, most of yeah, the pandemic teach us that lots of stuff can be done from your home. Not all, of course. So the drums need to be recorded in the studio. Uh, if you want to if they need to be sound good. So I don't know. Pandemic had no influence on music, rather than to the ways of working on music and working in general in our life. Yeah, and luckily it's all gone now. Hope it will not come back.
Okay, so many bands and musicians say that the last album is the best effort to date, and many times is the more special because there's the last child that that you're born for this. So if it is related with this, what makes this album special to you, and what does it bring us musical and lyrically?
Yeah, I would say that it is our best album. I think, if not the musician, in a manner of the songs, how they look like, but the sound is, I think, the best to date for Davis. But I might change my mind on the next records, of course. Yeah, well, I think this album is more intense than the previous one and has like a more uh, darker mood, I would say, than the previous one, and that's also inspired me to prepare the lyrics for this, because like I'm not starting to write them when I don't hear the music. So yeah, it's like the last things that is done when we are preparing the album. When I got everything I can hear, that this album will be, I don't know, brutal, more or less, or more intense. Then I think about lyrics. The lyrics is they're all like touching the apophenia thing. So yeah, so like apophenia in general is searching for a connection and meanings in the places that uh, well are not there. Yeah, so like seeing, like, I don't know, face of God on the tree or in the rainbow. Yeah, stuff like that. And basically, it's about religious stuff, but in a way that I criticize them because, well, most of them don't make sense for me.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So now, how do you feel the fan reception of the fans and press Disney album has been so far? What have been the reviews been like? Do you usually read reviews or criticisms that are uploaded online, and how do you take it?
Well, so far so good. Reviews are great. We had lots of interviews at this record. I think the most since ever. So yeah, and we are talking now. Yeah, but I did not met I didn't read the review that will say that this album is shit. Uh, so it's okay. But I don't have a problem with that because, like, no, but not everyone needs to like what we do. People have different taste in music, and yeah, it's okay if they don't like it. So that's not a problem.
Mm, okay, okay. So now talking about now the cover art, the lyrics, and obviously the music. How do you relate all this concept when you try to express in an album? Because the cover art, the cover art shows a different thing. The music is very aggressive, and the lyrics, obviously, you all try to relate with the classic thing. So into the death metal, suffering, death, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, it's up to me to connect all those things. Well, at first, well, there was music, then lyrics, then we found out the cover. So the cover, our goal it was that the cover needs to match everything else, and we felt that, yeah, this will do. This will do. The epiphania, the like death and the people beneath them, and seeing something in the sky. Yeah, well, that looks like a epiphania for me. So it's matched. The music, well, I don't know if the music is influenced by lyrics. I think it's not, although the term and the Epiphania, the idea that we'll name our album Epiphania, came out before we even started recording this album and preparing our ideas for it. So maybe it has some influence, but but lightly. So it's my goal to like fit everything together to make it sense in general.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, interesting. One thing that I didn't know for this apophenia is that in your sound return to the where the for me for the golden era for Deivos, because I love the first three albums for the band: Emanation from Below, Gospel of Maggots, and The Miracle of Void. Great album, by the way. I have here in my collections. Great albums, by the way. And I saw that you returned to this old sound. So in this case, this return to the old sound for Deivos, it was a conscious decision, or perhaps it was something that happened because you want to do more death metal stuff than technical metal that you did in Theodicy, Casus Belli, etc., etc.
I think it came out naturally. Uh, we, like you mentioned, we had some ideas that we want to record, like Theodicy, the long tracks that they last for 7 minutes even. And yeah, they're all complex, but it's like not common in death metal. Like maybe Vital Remains had such long tracks, but usually it's 3 4 minutes. Yeah, and after that we decide that well, it was a one-time experiment. We don't want to record such long tracks in the future. And we want to focus more to be like death metal, the fast, the brutal one, and intense. I don't think that we thought about that this record needs to be uh, harder than Casus Belli. Maybe it is because, like I said, it was a 5 year break between the albums. So yeah, we were like hungry for this new record, and maybe that's why it sounds more intense and brutal than our latest albums.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So as a veteran band, what inspired you to create new music and new releases in a digital age where you have hundreds of bands releasing albums every week or every weekend, as you can see? Since Friday to Saturday, we have more than 30 or 40 releases. 50 releases, that's impossible. Even we are working as a media, and for us, it's very impossible to catch up 50 releases or 60 releases per weekend. So there is a lot of competition in many ways because you have hundreds of releases per weekend. So do you feel to have to compete with many bands nowadays? And what are you still bet in a new releases when you are living in a world with singles now?
Well, yeah, it's hard to be known and to be found in in the crowd of new releases all over the world. And yeah, that's impossible even to hear one song from each. Because I'm trying sometimes to find any music on Bandcamp, but you need to dig deep to find like the one that it's worthy, because it's you can record everything at your home. Even if you don't have a band, you can play all the music by yourself. So and it's not often to be good. But yeah, well, we believe that our music will stand for its own. That we got some fan base that yeah, well, they know what we are about, and they will know that we had released a new album, and they will tell their friends that we had it. So uh, just like that. I don't think that we need to be the most popular band in the world. If we will be, yes, that's good. But if not, we will keep on doing what we do.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So now talking about the promotion of Disney's Apophenia. So what kind of plans do you have for this new album? What perhaps you will do more tours, perhaps you will release videos, or perhaps you already working on a new album. Who knows? What kind of plans do you have for Deivos and this Apophenia album?
Oh, new album is we don't think about it yet. Yeah, but definitely we're gonna play some gigs. We've got already scheduled one festival for next year. It will be in Poland, Injure Grind Attack, with Flash Crawl and Brutal Disease, and many more bands. But that's only one date. That's sure for now. I'm I'm starting to work in about some concerts around Poland, but it's too early to yeah. I need some time to prepare the details. But we don't plan to make any videos for this album. I don't know. We don't feel that we need to do it.
Okay,
So yeah,
okay.
so gigs mostly.
Okay, and well, you as you can see, well, when I hear the first three albums from Deivos, for a lot of people, you played technical death metal or technical this kind of stuff. That's common because the people are try to tag the label, try to tag the band or label the band with the more successful things that they can see in their heads. But what if you are the one of the creators of the music? So how do you relate? How do you describe yourselves? It is technical death metal or is just death metal? Because since the beginning, the death metal it was so technical. When you hear the first time, the first songs from Dead, from Morbid Angel, all the time the death metal was technical at that moment. Now just the technical is when you put just some clean stuff into the music, but it is the death metal always be technical.
Yeah, except the melodic death metal was not technical. Yeah, so and probably that's why we are called technical death metal in an old way. And I will agree that yeah, in an old way we are technical death metal, but we are not technical death metal like I don't know Axpire and bands like that, like Origin. They play more intense than we ever did, and it's a blast. But yeah, we love old school. We want to for every track on an album that you will know that it's not to make some recognition. Yeah, like in the classic albums, the Revocate the Agitator. Yeah, you know who wrote that song, right? And we try to achieve something like that. Yeah, so every track needs to be different than the previous, and in general, in the record, and even in comparison with our previous works. Yeah, it had to have some characterism that that we record 8 tracks and not one track that is just chopped in 8 pieces. So yeah, I would say death metal or old school technical death metal maybe. Uh, I saw one time the comment under our, I don't know, I think on YouTube under our track, and someone wrote that, oh man, someone said that this is technical death metal, and it's not,
Mm.
and he was disappointed. Yeah, so
Okay.
so maybe death metal.
Okay. Talking about now a little about the history of the band. As I said, Davos started the career in 1997. Well, it's a great thing, the band. But a curious thing happened for the first album because your first album came up 9 years later, Emanation from Below is from 2006. A curious thing that's happened in Europe because usually in Europe when you create a band, you release an album next 2 years or next 2 years or at least 4 years. It's not like South America or Latin America here when you have a band and after 20 years you release your first album because the economy, the society here is very different than Europe and US. That's why always Europe and US or even Japan is still releasing albums one or 2 years after the band was born. So in this case, so why the band delay seven almost 10 years to release this first album, Emanation from Below?
Well, it's hard to me to say because I was not in the band yet. I joined the band
2002.
on Demiurge of the Void. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was already the third album. But I did knew the guys already then. We were playing in a different bands. It was like, and we were such young. I don't know why it's like that. That so much years has passed between demo and the first release. But in 1997, it was pretty similar in Poland. It was not such. It was rather hard to record in a good studio to gather the money and to play it. Yeah. It was like nowadays it's much easier, so maybe that's why. And maybe that's because Vizun, our drummer, and Mshisław on second guitar, they were playing in multiple bands back then. They still do, but this number has decreased. And back then, it was very various bands that they have played with, and yeah, they didn't have the time for everything.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. We are very close to this interview, Hubert. And one thing, as you can see, I also been that you have been working with self-made God records for a long time now. So how do you describe your relationship with the label, and how is important is it for the band, considering that nowadays there are young bands that choose to self-produce or and work independently?
Yeah, well, self-made God is a good deal for us. I think it's the best record company for death metal band like us in Poland. Uh, we did our albums was released back then by Unique Leader from United States. It was cool because yeah, it's a new Unique Leader, but at some point they don't have good distribution in Europe, good distribution in Poland. So people from Poland couldn't buy our CDs because they need to order them from United States. And yeah, and the shipping is very, it costs a lot. So yeah, right now I think we are in a good place. I don't think it's a good idea to release the album by yourself, at least not at the beginning when your band is starting and you don't have like a good position uh, for that kind of move. I think that, well, when you are a young band and you release the record by yourself only, well, sometimes it's look like nobody wants you, so you need to do it by yourself.
Hmm.
And second thing is that uh, well, I don't. I have like my job, yeah, my own responsibilities in life. So I don't want to have all the things that are involved in releasing the record, in shipping and thinking about distribution, and it's a lot of work
Hmm.
in additionally. So yeah, it's better for us to have a record label that will do it for us.
Mm, okay, okay. Well, Hubert, we come to the sad moment of this interview. I hope you enjoyed this interview as I did, and thank you very much for your time. This new Apophenia is a great album. It's a tremendous one. Congratulations on it. So maybe you have something to add to your Latin fans that expect someday you will arrive here for a Latin tour, a full Latin tour, who knows? And obviously, Metallic forwards.
Thank you for interview. Glad you like it. Like you like our first three albums. So maybe in the future we will not disappoint you. And for our Latin fans, if there are any, well, thank you. And keep listening to death metal in general, not only us, by CDs, and maybe we will see someday. We will come to you and play some tunes.